Hello dear traders, welcome to the Trading Hero weekly review. Today we're gonna speak about our profitability for the current week. Also we'll analyze the monthly profitability because it is the end of June, and also we'll speak about the profitability for last 6 months. Let's start from the first portfolio. This is the 5K portfolio in version 1. This week we got 0.8% profit. This month we got 2.6% profit, and the profitability from the beginning of this year is 9% because we received a stop loss in April and we already recovered the losses we got, and we are still in profit compared to the previous year and to the beginning of this year. The next portfolio is 5K in version 2. We have 0.9% profit for this week and 3.6% for this month, but unfortunately the stop loss we received in April was quite big, and the result from the beginning of the year is minus 4.3%. This is the only one portfolio among all our portfolios with losses. Let's move to the next portfolio. This is the 5K version 3 portfolio. This is a new portfolio. We traded only 2 months, so that's why this year profitability is not quite high, but we'll see the results in the future. This week's profit is 0.6%. This month's profit is 2.4%. The next is 10K portfolio version 1. We earned 0.7% for this week, 2% for this month, and almost 22% for this year. I can say that this is the best performance among small portfolios from 5K to 50K, and as you can see we didn't get a stop loss. Actually, this is the reason why we have this kind of profitability. The next portfolio is 10K version 2 portfolio. We earned 0.4% this week, 1.3% this month, and 11.7% this year. We also didn't get a stop loss. Actually, the one we got was in 2024, but the volatility of the market was not too high to bring profits in this portfolio because it has different algorithms and different settings that work better when the market is more volatile. The next portfolio is 10K version 3 portfolio. We have 0.6% this week, 2% this month, and this year 12%. We started trading only in March, so we're still waiting for this portfolio to show its performance. And we also have a drawdown so far on the British pound. We'll speak about it in the details when we analyze the portfolio for 200K, but overall this portfolio also performs well. More than 10% for 5 months is quite a good result. The next portfolio is a 20K portfolio, and this week's profit is 0.5%, this month's profit is 1.5%, and 6 months profit is 15.3%. 50K portfolio brought us 0.7% this week, 2.1% this month, and almost 19% for 6 months. This is the best result among big portfolios, I mean 50K, 100K, and 200K portfolio. The next is 100K portfolio with the result of 0.5% this week, 1.7% this month, and 10% this year. Unfortunately, we had a technical issue at this point and we were not able to compensate these losses. That's why we have the profitability for the last 6 months lower than 10%. And the last portfolio is a 200K portfolio. We have more than 400K on board now, so we trade with double multipliers to correspond the actual risks. This week's performance is 0.7% weekly, 2% monthly, and almost 18% since the beginning of the year. We also have a drawdown, mostly on the British pound, but still, I think that results are quite good. Obviously, gaining around 20% for 6 months is not extremely profitable, but considering the current market situation, is better than the losses we could receive trading with bigger risks, aiming to achieve better profitability. Let's switch to the MetaTrader platform and check all of the trades that were made this week. We are on an hourly time frame. Each vertical line separates one trading day, and with a gray rectangle we highlighted the trading area of the previous week. As for the AUDCAD, we can see that mainly the price remained within the range of the previous week. if we speak about lows, and the week before if we speak about local highs. So there was an attempt to break both like lows and highs, and the last one was semi-successful. We broke it. We even started consolidating above this level, but still we get back to the channel, and actually we made quite a good profit on this moment. Totally we earned $1,271. If we speak about the global situation on the AUDCAD, we can see local downtrend. I think it's clearly visible here. So we are moving downward. So that's why all the sell positions that we have, it makes sense to hold them and wait for this trend to develop. The next currency pair is the Australian dollar against the New Zealand dollar. The situation is opposite here. We have an uptrend, not a downtrend. Or I would say it's some kind of a flat. Yeah, we have a consolidation, but of course we can build this trend line here. But globally, we are consolidating with no clear trend so far. We made some trades this week. The profit is $70. And if we look at the daily chart, we'll see that we are in a consolidation even on a daily chart. If we make it like this, we'll see that we have a triangle, but still we cannot say that we are in a clear uptrend or we are in a downtrend, because we have highs that decrease, but we don't have lows that would be lower than the previous lows. So we are in a consolidation. The next currency pair is the Australian dollar against the US dollar. Here we have a clear uptrend. I think you also can see it. We have highs, we have lows, everything is clear here. The profit is $284. We made a couple of buy trades as well as sell trades, and still we have several sell trades in the market. If we check the daily time frame, we'll see that we have an uptrend again on the daily time frame. Now we're expecting for a correction because we had these 4 growing days in a row and we have this strong resistance level. So it may cause the price to correct a little bit, and it will allow us to close all our selling trades with a profit. The next currency pair is Euro GBP. We can see that we also have an uptrend here, and we managed to close the sell trades we were holding since the beginning of June. Oh my god, it was almost 3 weeks ago. Finally we closed them, we covered swaps, and we made some profit. So the total profit is $286 for this currency pair. On a daily time frame, we actually can see that we're also in a consolidation. We can say that we have some kind of an uptrend. We don't have a downtrend, obviously, because we broke through it in March, and now we have this kind of consolidation. I would say that we are in a consolidation. Maybe the price will move further to this local resistance level. Maybe it will go even further to this resistance level. But still we have capacity of capital to average the trades and to close them when the price corrects. The next currency pair is GBPUSD, and as you can see, this week was really awful for us because we were expecting the price decline. To be honest, all technical indicators, all trend lines, everything was a clear preparation of the change of this trend. I'll show you on the cluster chart how does it look like from the side of trading volumes, but as for me, everything was speaking about that we must go down. But unfortunately, after US started bombing nuclear objects of Iran, we can see that the price started to grow rapidly with no correction. So it means that we don't speak about fundamental impact, macroeconomical impact. We speak about political impact, you see, and these risks that are caused by geopolitical factors. So we grew for more than 4,000 pips in actually 4 days, because today I think it is the first day of this week when we are falling finally, because I think 4,000 pips in 4 days is a lot. And we actually reached at the level of 400% of equity. And I would like to remind you that the stop loss for the algorithm that we have in bigger portfolios starting from 10K in version 3 and higher, we have the limitation of 500% of equity of the basic algorithm that is used in smaller portfolios, and this stop loss we placed around 1.39. So we can say that this week we came very close to our stop loss, but let's see how it goes. We are not gaining the positions for quite a long time because we already took all the positions we should according to the trading strategy. If we check this week's performance, we can see that we also had one chain of trades that consisted of 11 orders, and it was closed yesterday. And we have some selling trades still in the market, but there are quite a few trades. So I think that the following correction, even small correction to the previous consolidation zone, will help us to close all the trades. The profit of this week is $244. Now let's switch to the daily time frame and look at this situation globally. What can we see here? Obviously we can see an uptrend, yeah, and that's why all my ideas about that, okay, we need to, we're expecting for a downtrend. I think you remember I was telling you this earlier because it was the beginning of downtrend. We broke the previous support level, local highs and lows were decreasing, but unfortunately we were pushed up. Okay, no problem. We moved to another step, then we had a consolidation on this step, and we broke it and we started to fall. But on Monday, when the US started bombing, everything changed, and actually investors decided to put their money in safer currencies. So that's why this moment actually occurs. Considering the latest fundamental information that I have, everything should be fine, and we hope that this panic sale of dollar will get to its logical end and we're gonna see the correction. On the monthly chart you can see that we have the 5th growing months in a row, and if you check the history you will see that it's a rare occasion, because we had 5 falling months in 2018. But please pay attention that some of the bars, I speak about the horse bar here, it can be considered as an inner bar because its opening and close is in the frames of the previous bar. So then we also have 5 months here, but please check the candle number 4. It is also in frames of the third bar, and candle number 1 is in frames of the second bar. And in 2016 we had Brexit, so obviously that we had many falling candles in a row, but still the volatility inside, what matters to us is volatility. We need to close all our trades when the price grows. It doesn't matter if it grows 4,000 pips, 5,000 pips, it's okay. Even up to 10,000 pips, it is actually the limit that we have here. It is okay, but we need to get some corrections within this moment on a weekly time frame, on a daily time frame. We need to close the trades that we have, and then the price may go further. So that's why we didn't suffer when we had this kind of drops that were obviously much stronger than the one we have now. I mean, the recent rise, but we had these pullbacks on each stage of the decrease of the market. So that's why we can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles in a row. So let's see how it goes. If we measure the distance from the first trade we made to 1.39, we can see that the stop loss is at the level of 10,000 pips from the beginning. It's quite a big movement, but honestly I hope that we're gonna stop here because we're at the local high. This is the highest price in 2022, and this is a strong resistance level. Actually, I was expecting the price to drop from this level, obviously from this level, but it didn't happen. It was the high of 2024, but now we have another resistance level. So hopefully the price will correct from it and we'll be able to close all our trades with a profit. If we count the distance required to close the trades, it may seem quite big, because we need to get a correction of 6,000 pips. But let's be honest, this week we grew for 4,000 pips. So even if we cut the volatility, let's say by 2, we still have an opportunity to reach these levels within 3 weeks. So hopefully it's gonna happen. Let's switch now to the cluster charts. We're looking at GBPUSD futures now. We have these red lines showing us the expirations of contracts, and let's switch to the cluster volumes, where we can see in which zones the most of the trades were made. I'll highlight the previous contract with the volume profile, showing the main zones of interest. We have the first zone, then we have the second zone, and then we have the third zone. Okay, so now you can see that when this contract expired and we started trading with a new contract, actually everything was going according to the plan. We were falling down, and we actually broke through like this zone and came to the previous zone of consolidation, and the price was likely to go down. But unfortunately, recent 4 days actually changed this situation, and like no volumes, no technical analysis can guarantee the result if we have this kind of situation in global politics. Then let's check the hourly time frame. You can also see that we had an uptrend, at this point, but when it was broken, we started to fall. And if we build this trend line like here, you can see that everything was going according to the plan. The price was falling, lower highs, lower lows. The previous support level was broken, so we were expecting for the decrease actually, but unfortunately you can see that this movement actually ruined all this picture, and now we have what we have, so we cannot change it. Even if we check the delta, the difference between market buyers and market sellers here, we cannot say that if we see these like red dots we need to sell, and if we see green dots we should buy. But we need to look for the reaction when we have this sell delta, for example here, and then we have reaction, the price drops. We have more selling delta, the price actually is going down after it's good. It means that sellers, like market sellers, they have local control of this movement. But then, as you can see, with no delta, with no huge volumes, the price simply soared to the sky and broke through the previous local highs. And here we also can see the selling delta. But in this case, selling delta means closing of buying positions, because to close your buying position you need to sell. So that's why here obviously this is a local high, it was the closing of buy positions. It's good because the more sellers we have in the market, or at least the less buyers we have in the market, the more chances the price will correct. But still, we got this corridor, but we didn't see the reaction. The price didn't break this level. And now again, we have this corridor with a lot of selling delta spots here. So maybe this is the level where buyers close their positions and start selling. I think we'll see it next week. If you remember, on Friday we have non-farm payrolls. Usually some important moves they happen after the economical data is revealed. But so far the only thing we have to do is wait. Okay, let's switch to the MetaTrader platform and continue with our analysis. On the daily chart, as we can see, we have this uptrend. So let's wait. The next currency pair is GBPUSD. Here, as you can see, we also had a downtrend. Everything was going according to the plan. But unfortunately, on Monday, we can see that the direction of the market changed. I think you know why. The profit of this week is $33. If you speak about the global picture on a daily time frame, we can see that we are still in an uptrend. We faced the local resistance level and we may bounce off it, but let's see, we have a couple of sell trades and one buying trade, so it doesn't matter where the price will go. The next asset is USD-CAD. We had only 3 trades from the previous week that we closed with a profit. We have only one algorithm trading here, so the number of trades is quite low. We gained 2 buying trades and we are still in the market. If we continue the decrease, we'll average it near the previous local lows and we'll wait for the correction. The profit of this week is $126. On the daily time frame, we can see that we reached the previous consolidation zone that acted as a support zone in the first case. Maybe in the second case, locally we have a downtrend, so I think that still we have all chances to continue our decrease. The next currency pair is New Zealand CAD. For this asset, we remained in the corridor. We were trying to break through the local highs, we even tried to break through the local lows and even spend some time below these local lows. It actually gave us an opportunity to average the trades we had from the previous week and close them with profit on the subsequent correction. And this week's profit is $192. We still have a lot of sell trades in the market because on this rapid growth we were gaining selling positions, and now we must wait for the correction to close all the trades with a profit. On a daily time frame, we can see that we still have some trades from April, the same situation as we have on the GBP, but as you can see, we didn't rise too much. There is no gap between the last trades that we opened according to our strategies and the recent price, so hopefully the price will decline and we'll also close them with profit. Despite that we had this local trend previously, now we can see that local highs and local lows gradually decrease, which means that most likely the price will fall down. So this week was quite tough for us. We reached 400% equity on GBPUSD 11 algorithm, first time in the history. Hopefully the fact that we reached the maximums of 2022 will help us to stop the growth and start correcting. Let's wait for the non-farm payrolls released next week, and hopefully we're gonna see the correction and close all our trades with a profit. I congratulate everyone with the profit made this week, this month and this half a year. I hope that we'll close all the trades we have with a profit and we'll continue making money till the end of this year. See you in the next video review.